Hello and welcome to Tularis University. In this video, we will show you how to upload data into XPressEntry using a CSV file. Now we assume in this video that you have XPressEntry installed, which you see in the right hand side of my screen, and that you have your data which we use for this upload ready on your system as well. And that is all we will need for this demonstration. Now, the very first thing you want to do is to download the driver for uploading this CSV. It's a Microsoft driver, and we will share the link in the comment section of this video. We will also share a link to a shared Dropbox folder that will have all the files that you need for this upload. If you have Microsoft Office installed on your system and it's a 32-bit version, and you want to install the 64-bit version of this engine, you will need to uninstall that 32-bit version for it to work. Now, once you have your driver installed, the next thing we want to do is to check our file, and that file needs to have all the data that you want to import into XPressEntry. Have some sample data here, and we'll also share this file for you as a sample in the shared Dropbox location. Now let's go straight into XPressEntry. First, we want to close this file. Remember, the name of this file is upload.csv, and also take note of the location of the file. Now let's go straight into XPressEntry and go into settings, and want to go into data manager, and want to go into SQL import export. So we want to add a new import export, and let's call this CSV upload. Hit enabled. I want to check and select the ODBC connection type. In this case, it's OLEDB, and the connection string. I have my connection strings here in a text file. We will drop the connection string in a text file in the shared Dropbox location as well. So take note of the location. In my case, it's C/uploads, and my file is called upload.csv. So let's run a test query to see. We have to select star from upload.csv. And remember to hit save, and let's run a test query. So you can see the data in that my text file is coming from the file. So once we're done testing this connection, all we need to do is to go into modify tables, and we want to pull in the users table. So we're pulling in the users and the badges table for this sample upload. So you want to select here star from upload.csv. I want to hit main select, and you can see the data that came from that file. Now, because we have named this properly, you can just hit auto map here, and it will map it to the relevant XPressEntry fields. Now, one of the things you need to take note of is we need an external ID. This prevents XPressEntry from re-uploading the same data over and over again, just in case you're using this CSV file to do multiple uploads or to add or edit the data. So in this case, we want to use the employee number as the external ID. So we need to select external ID here and add that mapping. And that is pretty much it for the users upload. Now, next thing we want to do is to upload the badges. So let's just select the badges table and hit add here. Let's just select star from upload.csv. So the field we want to use here is the badge number, and we also want to add something for the external ID. So let's just hit the auto map. It should map the badge number. So because a user can have multiple badges, we want to map the badge number as the external ID, and then we want to map the employee number as external data, so we can map this to the user table. Now, once we have that, we want to add a post SQL to map this badge data to the users on the employee table. It's a simple query, so we're going to update badges, set user ID equals select top one ID from users, where badges dot external data equals users dot external ID. Remember that if you want to make this query efficient, you may just want to select what you need. In this case, I need the employee number and the badge number. You can just hit the main select to make sure that that is working, and that is pretty much it. Once you have all of this, you can run the table imports, and you should see that the records are pulled into XPressEntry. And if everything goes well, when you run it a second time, it shouldn't change the records again. And if you can see under the users import, you can see 0 records were changed. Let us go into XPressEntry and see how this data works. Let us go and close this. Let's go back into XPressEntry and to add edit info. And you can see the data from all of these users has been pulled and the relevant badges also mapped. Now the next thing you can do is either to schedule this upload or to modify the data. So the first thing I want to show you is to schedule the upload. So let's go back into settings, and we want to create a data manager, and on the data manager we want to create an SQL import. Hit add, hit save, and we need to go into that SQL import, enable, and we need to set it up. And under the full import name, we'll select the CSV upload, and you can also add partial or activity depending on what you want to do with this import. In my case, it's just a full sync that I want to do. Now under this, we want to just set the full sync frequency. I can just set it for let's just set it for every 30 seconds. See how frequently that does, and hit save. Now we can test this by hitting the full sync, and you can see the sync running in the details section here. Okay, so let's try one more thing, which is to modify the data. Let's go into that upload.csv, and let me make a change to one of the records, Clement. You can look at the add edit info here. I'm going to change Clement and just change that name to Clem, and I'm going to hit save. I need to close this, and let's go back into the full sync. It's running already because it's scheduled for every 30 seconds. Let's see what happens when it runs. You see Clem, the name is changed. Now, the last thing I want to show you is how to add a new record and delete an existing record. So let's go back into the SQL import export, and under users, we want to select delete missing records. Let's do the same for the badges and say delete missing records. And we can just hit save and close. So now if we go back into our file, and so to test this, I'm going to delete this record Clem, and I'll add a new record at the bottom here. I'll just call it Nat S Frank. Remember, I need to give him a unique employee number, so I'll just add and fill this one and make it 117, and I need to give a new badge number, and I'll just do the same and save. Let's close this. And so when we run this, we should see that the records are deleted and a new record is added. Take note of the records here. Clem is still there. So let's run the sync. Let's go back. If you see on the details here. You see one record is marked as deleted and one record was changed. So let's see what happened. The Clem is gone and Frank Nat S is there. Now this brings an end to the demonstration of this feature. If you have more complex imports, please reach out to us at helpdesk@Talaris.com for any technical queries or sales@Talaris.com for any product inquiries. Thank you.